Alright, hello again everyone. Today I'm looking at the Varney Yellowstone again. Just a little bit of a second part here. I've got a couple updates and done some more research on the history of these things. Just wanted to make another little video as a continuation of my previous video about the Yellowstone, just to add on the things I've since done and the information I have found on these. So the most obvious thing since the previous video is of course the tender. I was able to locate a correct brass tender for this, and new old stock. Got the box over here. Oops. You can see HO locomotive tender. The only thing it was missing were wheel trucks, which I bought separately. These are, I think, actually older than the tender. Copyright G. Varney. I think that they're pretty cool. And so, new old stock, I put it all together, and now it matches pretty well with the locomotive, and that's what it was designed to be put behind, or what was designed to be put behind it was one of those tenders. In terms of running, it unfortunately still does not really run yet. I can get it to try, but what's happening is it's shorting out, which kind of is expected from a giant lump of brass and other metals, because metals do conduct electricity. But it seems there's something in the back here, either with the drivers or with this trailing truck, causing it to short out. My front wheels do move nicely though, which is good. Since that set is not powered, it needs to be able to roll nice and freely, and it seems to be doing that pretty well, which is good. I mentioned, I think, replacing these little markers. I've got a different set in there now. I don't know if they're really as good or if I'm going to keep those either, but those are in there now. Haven't changed any, haven't added lights or anything. I did, I think, mention it would be cool to put a light in that someday, but not for now. Just going to leave it like that. So now for my updated research on the history of these. They were first produced in 1939, and in 1939 the boiler was bronze, and so that was the standard material that they used on these at the time, well, and their other locomotives as well. So it was originally bronze, and it was incredibly heavy, and I guess the motors, their V1 motors, may have had a little trouble with that. So in 1940 and then 1941, they were produced in aluminum. And in 41, of course, the United States entered World War II, so Varney stopped making models, at least for the most part. I've heard that they may have produced a few things during the war, but not much. And so I guess they produced screws, little machine screws and stuff for the war effort, which is kind of a neat fact. But then after the war, in 1946, 47, or somewhere around that time, was when they started producing these again in brass, which is what this one is. And of course, they were designed to take the super chassis. Flip it over here. You can see the brass frame with the super V2 motor in there, as well as all of the suspension on all the drivers. Oh, it's not going to show very well. Oh, there it goes. So these are just, it's two consolidation frames from their consolidation kit. combined into a single locomotive is all it is. Although, like I said, I do kind of think the way this is done, it was sold as a kit with all of these parts included, although I have no way to confirm that. Sitting on its side here, you can see some of the custom work that was done. Whoever did this before I got it, they put this plate on the bottom here. So there's actually a hollow cavity up inside the boiler. And what that means is, in theory, you could actually stick another motor on this set of wheels up here and have it dual motored. There's a guy on YouTube called Leonard Williams is his name, I think, and he's got a few of these, and the one is dual motored, which is pretty neat. The only thing about that is, with another motor in there, the motor is going to severely decrease your pivot on your front bogie there, which will severely impact how tight of a curve this can go around. Unlike a lot of later models, the rear set here is fixed directly to the boiler. On later stuff, these were made so that the rear set can pivot as well as the front, which unfortunately made them suffer a little bit in realism, although I hear it's not too bad, because on the real ones, obviously the rear set will not pivot, but that modification was kind of important for other companies because it meant that those big locomotives could still be run on small little ovals of track or whatever, if anyone just wanted to run it. So yeah, that's just about it. I am going to get it running eventually. That is my goal. I just got to look into what it's shorting out on and figure out how to fix it. And then it should be a runner. When it does try to go, it seems to move all right. So hopefully it won't be too bad. But that's about all I got for this one. Just wanted to make a little bit of an update on the history that I found on these, as well as what I'm doing with this one. So if you like these old model trains, old Varney trains and stuff like that, or if you like stuff like these old engines or old Cub Cadet garden tractors or big tractors or whatever, do consider subscribing. If you like trains in particular, be sure to leave a like. I've got a whole bunch more Varney locomotives to show off soon, make videos on. I'm down on the floor right now, actually, because the workbench is taken up by a paint project on a set of Varney F3 units. So that maybe I'll feature that in a video at some point soon. But that's about it for this one, so I'll see you next time, and thank you for watching.